Well, Mark Robinson, in the past you talked about your own playing career and perhaps not receiving the guidance you wanted at Fulham after a serious injury. How much is that shaping you now as a coach and interim manager?
Yeah, I think everything shapes you, Chris. All your experiences should shape you, and that was just one experience when I felt, I certainly wasn't a soft lad, but I just tend to find in football when everything's going well, you get the support you need and everything's great. But then, when people struggle, that's when they need you more. So you just look back at that, and as I said, you think you're left very much mentally to your own devices, and that's been a massive thing of mine. In the role that I've had at the academy and in terms of developing players, because it's about people, and I don't see that any different with the first team. Everyone is developing mentally all the time. You're all looking to improve, so the people aspect of it, the human aspect is absolutely massive, 100%.
And even the senior players, they sometimes require the arm around the shoulder, that type of thing.
Chris, everyone needs it. Anyone who pretends they don't are a lie. Everyone needs it. Staff need it. You all need it. I'll go to some. It's a very macho industry, but everyone needs that support. It can look different depending on who you're speaking to, but everyone needs it. One of the things I said to the staff is when you talk to people, it drives me nuts when someone's feeling a bit down and they say, "Oh, I know how you feel." I said, "You don't know how they feel, because their feelings are their own. You can show empathy and you can give them support, but you don't know how they feel. So it's a massive part of performance for me. Is that side of the game."
And Ethan Chisel had spoken early in the week about psychologists helping. How keen are you to bring those new ideas in?
Yeah, we've had it before. He's more of a performance mindset coach, really. I don't think he wouldn't want to be called a psychologist. He's a performance mindset coach. His way is, my name's Steve and I'm here to help, and that's the way he looks at things. So he's another voice. He's very clever in what he does. He comes from an education background, so it's more just about mindset and getting the best out of people.
In terms of what's been going on the last couple of days off the pitch, we had a video put up about the keys to Plough Lane, which is a really good video that was put out. Yeah. But in terms of on the pitch, we've perhaps made life too easy for these visiting teams, haven't we, in recent months?
Yeah. I think in a certain, I don't want to talk too much about the past, really, because that sounds disrespectful and it's not really relevant. It's just more about what we do in the future. As I said, the lads are quite clear on what they think they need to do and how we need to do it, and that's what we're going to be working on. As I said, working on an identity, so that obviously Plough Lane is a really, really uncomfortable place to come to. But I don't think that wasn't the case before. It was always the case. But things just happen in life. But it's more about moving forward now and what we're going to do.
Saturday's opponent, Rochdale, they conceded the most goals in League One so far this season, 54. And we've just been away from home, scored 3 for the first time this season. How much do we need that sort of similar approach to scoring goals?
We do, yeah. I think, again, I think what they've conceded is irrelevant, because, if they've conceded a lot of goals, I'm sure they're not sitting there expecting to concede more. They'll be working really, really hard to stop that. So these kind of things, I have no interest in what's happened before. All we got to do is look after what we're going to do. We can't go into a game thinking, they've conceded the most goals, that's going to happen again. It's not how it works. They're going to be working really hard to make sure that they're tighter at the back, and so we've just got to work really hard to make sure we build our identity, as I said, and we're a real threat going forward, but we're absolutely rock solid at the back.
You talked about that identity last week. Are you seeing signs that identity is starting to come to fruition?
Yeah, very, very small signs, but it's going to take time. Anything worth doing takes time. So there's been some promising little signs here and there, but there's also things that aren't where they need to be, from the mental aspect, the way sometimes the players approach things. But all I can say is they're giving absolutely everything. It's nothing negative. It's just flipping mindsets a little bit to things maybe that they've done not at Wimbledon, that they've done previously at other clubs, and and the way they were educated before. So it's just that those kind of things having a different approach to things doesn't happen overnight. You know, you'll see little glimpses where you go good, and then they fall back into habits and revert to type. But you know, reverting to type, it means you've reverted back to your previous education. So we've got to make sure the education they get here is really strong, so that over time they don't revert back to type. They you know, their type is what the learning that they're having here.
Looking ahead to Saturday and personnel of the squad, Shane McLaughlin, how's he?
Yeah, Shane's going to be a little while yet, unfortunately, which is a real shame, because I wanted to look at him in that attacking midfield role as well. So he's going to be a little while. But no, I don't know if you've got more questions about others, but no, Shane's one that's out, but everyone else is Robbo trained today, which is fantastic. So I think, if I'm right, apart from young Zach, who needs a little bit more time, Corey, we're still getting up to speed, sort of match fitness wise, so we're getting him up to speed. And then Shayon, again, he's, you know, I'm hoping he will feature in some way. He's looking sharp. I've just got to speak to Tim and Chris about that, but he's looking nice and bright.
What's the time scale with Shane? Is it a few weeks he's out for?
Yeah, I need to check, because they saw him again today. I think it may have been a bit longer than that before, but I just need to check, get an update once we finish now.
What's this week been like? Because you've been training in various locations, haven't you?
Yeah, and again, I keep talking to lads about flexibility and versatile. So, you know, as I said, we trained in the snow the other day, and, you know, sometimes they can be a little bit negative, and I just said to, you know, we went back to other meetings we've had, and I said, look out the window. I said, what would you have done when you was a kid? And like Woody said, we would have been out there until our mum and dad's called us back in. I said, come on then, let's get out there. And once you shift, again, we got out there, we had a great session, as well as an enjoyable session. The intensity was good. Today, because it was such a deep frost, again, we've had to come here again, and tomorrow we'll be at a different venue because we need a screen to do a little bit of a presentation before training. So it's just said to them, you know, you've got the greatest job in the world, lads, just have a little bit of flexibility, because things ain't perfect all the time.
Certainly, we spoke to Rob too the other day, and this is not far off the greatest job in the world for him, to be involved in the first team. He was there at Sandhurst.
Yeah.
What would it mean to you as well to be interim manager at Plough Lane for the first time this weekend?
Yeah, it's incredible, you know. You know, while I've got the job, as I said, and not just saying it, I feel I've got the greatest club job in the country. You know, it's everything that I was brought up, you know, as a massive football fan, as well as loving football. You know, my family were obsessed with football, and everything that my dad instilled into me, you know, that I think a traditional football fan feels in terms of values and that connection to your club, things that I think are lost, have been lost a little bit as the game's moved on in a certain way. And this club has got it all, you know, with the fans, and you know, I don't have to go everything that the fans done, but you know, being the interim manager of a fan-owned club, it's just got everything that I was brought up that is great about the game of football. So, you know, obviously I'm incredibly proud, but also I can't afford to be emotional. I've got a job to do while I'm here to do it, and that's my biggest focus.